Tonight, when the sun goes down, you're going to flip a switch. Light floods the room. You don't think twice. But for most of human history, that switch didn't exist. When the sun went down in medieval Europe, the world didn't just get dark, it got dangerous. Streets emptied, city gates locked. A bell rang. And if you were still outside after that bell, you were automatically a criminal. But here's what no one tells you. What people did inside those dark houses completely rewired how scientists understand human sleep today, including yours, including right now. Before we get there, you need to understand what dark actually meant, because you've never experienced it. Not really. Right now, even at midnight, there's a streetlight somewhere near your window, a phone screen, a router blinking in the corner. Medieval dark was total. Step outside on a cloudy night and you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. So governments did something brutal. They engineered the night. The word curfew comes from the French couvre-feu. It literally means cover fire. That was the whole law. Every night, around 8 or 9 p.m., a bell rang across the city. One job: rake your ashes, kill your flame, go inside. Because in a city built from wood and straw, one drunk neighbor and a knocked candle could burn half of London by sunrise. William the Conqueror made it official in England, under severe penalty. No fire, no light, no movement. The Night Watch patrolled empty streets, hunting what they called night walkers. Caught outside? No questions asked. A cage in the middle of the road until sunrise. So, what were people actually doing in the dark? Here's where it gets uncomfortable, because it wasn't equal. What you could do at night depended entirely on who you were. If you were a peasant, and most people were, your night looked like this: a tallow candle made from rendered animal fat, so smoky it blackened the ceiling within weeks. Or a rushlight, a wild reed stripped down, soaked in fat, and lit on fire, barely visible, gone in minutes. Historians describe peasant homes as so dark at night that families often sat in near total blackness, rationing every centimeter of candle. The nobility? Different world entirely. Beeswax candles. Bright, clean, sweet-smelling, no soot, ornate chandeliers, minstrels playing, chess, feasts that ran past midnight. Light wasn't just light, it was power. The richer you were, the longer your night lasted. The poorer, darkness forced you to bed hours earlier, every single night, for your entire life. But what happened in that bed? That's where it gets really strange. Have you ever woken up at 2 or 3 a.m., completely alert, not groggy, not scared, just awake? And then eventually drifted back to sleep? You probably called it insomnia, maybe felt broken. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware at the National Institute of Mental Health ran an experiment that quietly changed everything. He took volunteers, removed all artificial light, and tracked how their bodies slept, the way humans did for thousands of years before electricity. Here's what happened. Nobody slept 8 hours straight, not one person. They slept around 4 hours, woke up, stayed awake, calmly, naturally, for 1 to 2 hours, then slept 4 more hours. This wasn't disruption. This was the default. In 2001, historian Roger Ekirch at Virginia Tech published research that made sense of everything. He found over 500 references across medieval Europe, legal records, diaries, medical texts, court documents, all casually mentioning first sleep and second sleep as completely normal everyday language. Medieval medical books literally told you, lie on your right side during first sleep, roll to your left after, and that gap in between? People prayed, couples talked in the dark, neighbors quietly knocked on doors to chat. Some brewed beer, some checked on livestock, some lay still and just thought, with no notifications, no pressure, no performance. That middle hour wasn't empty. It was the quietest, most human part of the day. And then, we destroyed it. But there's one more thing happening in that darkness. Something deeper. Medieval people weren't just afraid of the dark because of real dangers. They were afraid because the dark was owned by something else. The church taught that night belonged to demons, witches, and the restless dead. Wolves prowled beyond the walls. Real ones. City gates locked at sunset not just against fire, but against whatever might walk in. If your cow got sick, if your crops failed, if you heard something moving in the dark, the explanation wasn't random. It was supernatural. Folk traditions spread across Europe like law. Smear blood on the doorframe to keep spirits out. Bury a bone beneath the threshold. Don't go outside if you hear your name called after midnight. The fear wasn't irrational. It was institutional. Even existing after curfew was considered suspicious, because no honest person had business in the dark. The night wasn't empty. It never was. It was full of everything people couldn't explain. For 300,000 years, your ancestors sat in darkness so complete, that the Milky Way wasn't a national park destination, it was just the sky, every night, taken for granted. They slept in two halves, with a quiet hour in between where nothing was demanded of them, and the world was completely still. They feared the dark, yes, but they also lived in it in a way we've completely forgotten how to. And then one invention, one switch, changed all of that. Now we lie awake at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling, convinced something is wrong with us. But what if nothing is wrong? What if that restless, quiet, wide-awake moment in the middle of the night isn't your body failing? What if it's your body remembering something we took away from it 300,000 years in the making, and most of us never even knew it was gone?